We must rush on. Is it wrong to ban Israeli fans from their match against Aston Villa? We love a call. The Prime Minister said it is wrong to stop away supporters of a team called Maccabi Tel Aviv from attending the Europa League in the match in Villa Park on November the 6th. West Midlands Police designated the match high risk. The verdict is based on current intelligence and previous incidents, including violent clashes and hate crime offences during a previous fixture featuring Maccabi Tel Aviv in a different place in Holland. A safety advisory group for Birmingham City Council made the final call following police advice. Last year, their Europa League match against Ajax in Amsterdam sparked 2 days of disorder. People sort of throwing Palestinian flags around and all sorts, running battles, etc. 5 people were hospitalised and more than 60 arrested in what officials described as a toxic combination of anti-Semitism, hooliganism and anger. Well, let me start with you. What do you think of this, Marvyn?
I think the framing of it is a bit bizarre because it's not Israeli fans, it's Maccabi Haifa fans or Maccabi Tel Aviv fans. And no other situation where fans have been removed from a game has it been framed around the ethnicity of the people attending. In Celtic fans get removed from football games, 3, I think, in the last 3 years, they were framed as Celtic fans. They weren't framed as Catholic, for example.
Or Scots.
Scots. I think the other thing is that we have seen, West Midlands Police are responding to credible intelligence. And unless you believe that West Midlands Police has a weird agenda, they are protecting British citizens by removing them from the actual game, by the way, which they're still allowed to travel into the country. So it's just the actual in-stadium game because of previous clashes that have occurred. It sounds like the right thing to do for me. I think, again, we have seen what have happened where football fans have been mismanaged. We've seen it in Heysel. We've seen it multiple times where English teams were removed from European competition for 5 years, Liverpool 6. Off the back of this, there is precedent for doing so. I don't quite get the framing and the focus on it as something that is anti-Jewish people, which I think is just wrong.
If you were to ban the England team from playing somewhere, you wouldn't say Christian fans have been banned, for example, Anne. That's Marvyn's case.
Right. First of all, the Prime Minister's condemned it. Leader of the Opposition's condemned it. Leader of Reform has condemned it. There could possibly be a reason why there's universal condemnation going on. And that is because it is wrong. Now,
no, but what's the reason for it?
Hang on, you had a long spiel that I didn't.
What's the reason?
No, that's all right. He's asking.
I'm aware.
He's the politest guy in London.
I don't know about that, but he's certainly politer than you. That is true.
Well, I didn't interrupt.
No, exactly.
Well,
now, let me finish what I was saying.
Well, OK.
It's wrong. And my line has always been that if there is going to be disorder, the police's job is to actually police the disorder effectively.
Ooh, they're not allowed to predict it and stop it happening?
If stopping it happening simply means that you just ban all fans from going. Now, you will have seen the photos, as we all have, of those 2 hostages, the Israeli hostages, after their release, wearing Maccabi Tel Aviv shirts. And that was very moving. And I think the idea that you simply ban, in the current atmosphere, that you ban an Israeli side, which is what it effectively.
I think that's a dangerous conflation. There are Arsenal fans in Rwanda, for example, and Arsenal fans wearing an Arsenal kit doesn't then permit.
They are not.
I think now you're now interrupting me.
Pause for a sec. We allow modest interruptions here, but let's bring in a columnist and former editor of the Jewish Chronicle, Jake Wallis Simons. You've got no doubt that this is related to basically the Israeli connection of the team. Is that right, Jake?
Yeah, those are the facts. I mean, if you look at the history to this, protests against the Israeli team coming here were planned on the day that the draw was announced. After that, within the next month, the local MP, Ayub Khan, who, let's not forget, is termed a Gaza independent, launched a petition to ban the Israeli team from coming to Britain, not because he had any particular problem with Tel Aviv, but because they're Israelis. That's the problem that he had with them. This is a constituency with a 29% Muslim population. There's been a lot of incitement against the Israeli side ever since. For example, Asrar Rashid, the local imam, drew a lot of attention by saying, quote, "We will not show mercy to Maccabi Tel Aviv fans travelling to Birmingham." So that is the reason why these fans have been banned, because they face mob violence on the streets. And to figure it as some threat to British citizens from Israelis is totally wrong. The same thing with Ajax last year. Israeli fans were subjected to a pogrom by local people, which forced the police to intervene and ended up with widespread disorder. So this is mob rule, and the police have handed a victory to the mob, who now will be emboldened to, whenever any Israeli or Jew wishes to enter public life or come over to this country or whatever, they will then push their campaign of mob violence further and the police will capitulate. It's appeasement and it's shameful and disgraceful.
You mentioned the local MP, Ayub Khan, who indeed did stand on that Gaza ticket and is independent, and he has been, as Jake says, petitioning for the match not to take place. So this is what he said to BBC Newsnight.
We're talking about violent fans, and I think the Prime Minister should stay out of operational matters. That's not a matter for him sitting in number 10 Downing Street. It's a matter for the local police teams here in Birmingham to make an assessment. And of course, we must ensure that it's not just residents that are protected and are safe, but fans and players.
Craig, in Northamptonshire, who do you think is in the right here?
The football club for not allowing the fans to be allowed in.
What has Jake got wrong? Jake was just speaking. What has he got wrong then?
Well, if Jake finds it acceptable to chant monkey noises at players, then Jake is sadly wrong, because they actually abuse their own player. A guy called Barak Dago, they chanted monkey noises at him.
Yeah, so this is about, from your point of view, nothing to do with Israel's behaviour internationally. It's to do with the Maccabi Tel Aviv fans being badly behaved.
No, badly behaved.
All right, yobs or whatever you want to say.
Well, yeah, they've got a history of hooliganism and vile racism, and they shouldn't be allowed their fans to play. I mean, a Catholic team in Europe was banned from their away games. Was it because they were Catholic? No. They were Croatian, Dinamo Zagreb, because there'd been trouble at a match in Greece. So, no, to stop, it's a high-risk match, and everything should be done to stop them attending.
Jake, just let Jake respond to that.
Well, that's total fantasy, I'm afraid. You know, this ban has come at the end of a long campaign of anti-Semitic intimidation, threats and incitement. There's no doubt about that. And to blame, I mean, obviously every football team has fans, of which a small number are badly behaved. That's the same in every single team around the world. We know that in Britain as well. But to characterise all the fans by those tiny number of badly behaved ones, and then say that means that all Israeli fans should be banned from Britain, is absurd. You're playing, sir, I'm afraid, into the narrative of the anti-Semites who are trying to cast the Jews as evil, keep them out. That is the message we're getting. It has no place in modern Britain. It's an absolute disgrace. You shouldn't give any credence to those arguments, I'm afraid.
Craig.
Yeah, no, it's what you expect from Mr. Simons, to be fair. But yeah, like I think with Marvyn said that Celtic had some away games where they couldn't go to. Where was Jake then? Where was Jake on the side of Celtic fans?
OK, no, thank you, Craig. Thank you very much. John in London, hi.
Hi, Jeremy.
Hello. Are they right to ban these fans?
What is England coming to? Anti-Semitism is running rife. To ban the supporters of the Tel Aviv team in a European match at Villa Park is giving away to the anti-Semitist supporters. I think the FA should step in here and say, play the game behind closed doors. That would shake them up, because the amount of money that Villa would lose with tickets and any TV that was going, they'd soon find people running around trying to get a solution.
OK. Thank you, John. Play it behind closed doors so you get no fans in there. That seems
No.
wrong.
I mean, this ban is just wrong. And I think Jake's point, which is that they have actually been the subject of protests, I mean, even before they come, and of political protest, I think makes it a completely different matter from the Celtic one, completely different. And I think Jake is absolutely right. And this, I don't say it's been conceived in an anti-Semitic way, but the effect is certainly anti-Semitic.
OK, Ellie in Hertfordshire, what do you think?
I think it's a very good idea to ban, the other team attending.
Yeah.
Because simply because we have to think about the health, safety, and of everybody attending, including our hard-working police officers. Our police officers should not be put in harm's way. For example, on Saturday in London, counter-protesters were playing very, very loud, way over the legal limit of the noise in London.
Yeah.
And they are hard-working police officers were protecting the protesters from the counter-protesters, and they were right in the middle, and they had to wear earplugs because the amount of the damage, I can imagine that there was, and the harm
Were you talking about, I'm just trying to work out, you're talking about a pro-Palestinian protest where they were playing loud music?
The counter-protesters, very small number of counter-protesters were playing extremely, very, very loud noise music, which it was way, way over the limit of the legal limit of noise. And our police officers protecting us, protecting the counter-protesters, segregating the counter-protesters from the protesters, were right in the middle, and they had to wear earplugs.
Yeah, well,
because,
yeah, of course, yeah.
And then I can imagine that the harm, the serious harm that they would have come to our police officers.
And just to be clear, because I'm a bit lost, are you saying the Israeli fans shouldn't play there?
Yes.
Shouldn't go there?
That's what
you are?
They shouldn't.
They shouldn't. Okay, thank you, Ellie. Thank you so much. Stephen in Colchester, hi.
Well, I'm worried about how this is going to affect England and Britain's chances of holding international tournaments in the future, like, say, the World Cup or the European Championships. I mean, this could even affect Britain, like, applying to host the Olympics again.
That's a very good point, Marvyn. I hadn't thought about that. Once you start looking like the whole country is... Well, you start looking like one of our police forces has taken an anti-Semitic decision. That's basically what this...
Again, I think if you take the merits on footballing basis, there is precedent for this happening before. I think when we accelerate language to include all Jews and the whole of Israel in regards to this matter, the travelling fans of any football team are the most intense and most passionate fans that the club has. So you're not tarring all fans, you're tarring the most
and doesn't agree.
Passionate fans that cause the most amount of trouble.
Go on,
this is universal across football culture. That's not to anything specifically for the club in question.
As I said just now, and as Jake said very, very eloquently, and the difference here is that there was already a political protest against that team coming. So it isn't just a question of disorder. There are politics involved as well. And interestingly, it's not the sport who've decided this; it's the police and the
which is their job,
the political authorities.
Okay,
and so no, I mean this ban is wrong.
Okay, thank you, Jake Wallis Simons as well for joining us. And I should say the Culture Secretary Lisa Nandy is going to have a meeting, or she is this morning having a meeting with officials and so on to work out whether the government can get stuck in and change the police's decision. Okay. So it's really blown up, this one. Later, it's the papers and everything else, including shock rumours about Margaret Thatcher's love life.